Sunday after Pentecost. Old Testament reading comes from Isaiah chapter 45, the first 7 verses. In the gospel lesson, Jesus is going to remind the people that God works in many and various ways. He can work through governments. He uses that as an authority, something he wants to keep the peace and keep the order. And he works through his church. He works through us as his people. But it's not one or the other. God's in charge of everything. In the Old Testament reading, if you know historically that the time, God's people are under captivity by the Babylonians. They're oppressing them. God is going to use another country. He's going to call this Cyrus to come in and relieve some of that pressure. Cyrus doesn't believe in God, doesn't believe he's the true God, but God's still in charge of him, and he's going to use that person for the good of his people. And that's what we read. And so listen for that assurance that God is God and he's going to get his work done for the good of his people as I read this lesson to you. From Isaiah 45, beginning at verse 1. This is page 770 in your Pew Bible if you'd like to follow it there. Or Mitchell's got it on the slides there too. Thus says the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have grasped, to subdue nations before him, and to loose the belts of kings, to open doors before him, that gates may not be closed. I will go before you and level the exalted places. I will break in pieces the doors of bronze and cut through the bars of iron. I will give you the treasures of darkness and the hoards in secret places, that you may know that I, the Lord, the God of Israel, who call you by your name. For the sake of my servant Jacob and Israel my chosen, I call you by your name. I name you, though you do not know me. I am the Lord, and there is no other. Besides me, there is no God. I equip you, though you do not know me, that people may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none besides me. I am the Lord, and there is no other. I form light and create darkness. I make well-being and create calamity. I am the Lord who does all of these things. And this is from the word of the Lord. And thanks be to God, we say to that.